Election machinery at the central level is different and at the state level is different. Okay, thus at the election machinery at the central level is controlled by the center, and the election machinery at the state level is controlled by the states. Coming to the next point of the unitary government, unitary system, and that point is Parliament's authority over state list. I told you that we have three lists: state, union list, state list, concurrent list. Now the state list has subjects on which only the state can make laws, like agriculture, okay, law and order, okay. Now here it is written that Parliament has the authority over the state list also. Okay, what is required here is, if the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution to this effect, the Parliament will exercise authority on the subjects of the state list as well. What is required is a resolution passed by the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so only this requirement is there, and the center gets the control over the state list subjects also. So you can see that how unitary system is there in India. Okay. Now, appointment of governor is another unitary system. The governor of the states is appointed by the center on center's own whims and fancies. Now the governor is rightly described in India as agent of the center. Okay, agent of the center. Now the head of the state is governor and he is an agent of the center. Now you can see that the governor has been installed by the center in the state to keep an eye on the laws being passed in the state, on the type of administration being run in the state, and one more thing, the governor can reserve certain laws passed by the state for the assent of the president, and the president exercises not only this pocket veto but absolute veto on these bills. Okay, so the president may give his assent, may not give his assent. The president may not give his assent to the state bills. So the state bills which are passed by the state assembly and the council may not be given assent by the president, and these bills are in the first place kept by the governor for the assent of the president. That is, these bills basically are kept reserved by the governor for the president's consideration. Okay. So these were the points of unitary form of government. Now I will quote some constitutional experts, and then this topic will finish. Number one, K.C. Ware. K.C. Ware. K.C. W-H-E-A-R-E. What he thinks about Indian federalism. He says that Indian federalism is not a federalism basically. Indian system is not federal. He calls Indian system as quasi-federal. Quasi-federal. So the question can come in the prelims. Who calls Indian constitution as quasi-federal, that is half federal? And the answer will be K.C. Ware. Okay. So K.C. Ware also says that India is a unitary state. India is a unitary state with subsidiary federal features. India is a unitary state. K.C. Vire says India is a unitary state with subsidiary federal features and not a federal state with subsidiary unitary features. Okay, so this is a very popular statement of K.C. Vire, which is India is a unitary state with subsidiary federal features and not a federal state with subsidiary unitary features. A very popular statement of K.C. Vire. He also calls Indian constitution as a quasi-federal. Okay, moving to the next, and that is, we will talk about K. Santhanam. K. Santhanam was a very important Indian expert on constitution. He was chairman of many commissions also. He also says that in India states are lacking the financial power. They are not given sufficient financial powers. Okay, so he was always in favor of that the states should be given more financial autonomy to collect taxes and all that. So he says that states are dependent on the center for finances, and also there is a planning commission. Now planning commission has been abolished, and in its place has come Niti Aayog. He used to say, Santhanam used to say that there is a body called planning commission which makes up the plans for the states also, for the center also, and which is not in favor of a federal system, which is totally a unitary feature. Now, as the planning commission has been abolished and in its place new Niti Aayog has come, so we will not discuss planning commission, but Santhanam was of this view. Now, although we were having certain experts who used to say, experts like K.C. Vire and Santhanam, who used to say that India is more unitary than federal. We were also having certain experts who believed that India is a federal state with some unitary features. Okay, now we will discuss about them. Those who believed that India is a federal state with unitary features. Okay, we will discuss about them. The first is Paul Appleby. Paul Appleby, P-A-U-L-A-P-P-L-B-Y. Paul Appleby was a very important scholar. He said that Indian system is extremely federal. Now I don't know what extremely federal appeared to him. What was there in our constitution which appeared to him extremely federal? But he called it so, and it can come in the prelims question also. Who called Indian constitution as extremely federal? Paul Appleby. Okay. There was one more person called Maurice Jones. Maurice, M-O-R-R-I-S, Jones, J-O-N-E-S. He called Indian system as bargaining federalism. Maurice Jones. Bargaining federalism. Okay, very important statement. Bargaining federalism simply means that the states can bargain with the center to get their powers. Okay, then there was very important person called Ivor Jennings. I-V-O-R-J-E-N-N-I-N-G-S. Ivor Jennings, who called Indian system as a federation with a strong centralizing tendency. Okay, he called Indian system as a federation with a strong centralizing tendency. Okay, next is Alexander Wyss. He called India is a Case sui generis, or we can also say unique in character. Case sui generis, which means India is unique in character. Who has called it so? Alexander Wiz. Alexander Wiz. AlexenderWICZ. Okay, next is Granville Austin. Very important. Granville, Granville, Austin. Granville Austin, he is also called as Granville Austin. He called India a, a, a cooperative federalism. Very important statement. Cooperative. Granville Austin, cooperative federalism. Okay. He has also said, Granville Austin has also said that though the center in India is strong, the states are not weak. Though the center in India is strong, the states are not weak. This is a very popular statement of Granville Austin, who has called India cooperative federalism. By cooperative federalism, he means a new kind of federalism to meet India's peculiar needs. Okay, a new kind of federalism to meet India's peculiar needs. Now, as I told you earlier also, in India has certain different circumstances. The states are not that cooperative with the center. They have vociferous tendencies. Some states want to secede from India. India has a large geographical extent. India has a vast variety of people living together, different languages. They speak different languages. They follow different religions. They follow different cultures. Different customs are there. Different tribes are there. Different castes are there. So that is why we have a cooperative federalism according to Granville Austin. That is a new kind of federalism to meet India's peculiar needs. Okay. Next is B.R. Ambedkar. What he said, and it is he said that Indian system could be both unitary and federation. He said that India's system can be both federal as well as unitary according to the circumstances and requirement of the time. Now, as we see that when there is some sort of emergency, our country becomes unitary, and in the normal circumstances, our India becomes federal. So B.R. Ambedkar was right. He said it will depend upon the circumstances whether India is unitary or federal. Okay, when there is some sort of problem, India becomes unitary. Okay, when some external aggression is there or something like that, or financial crisis is there, India will become unitary. But in the normal course of time, India will remain federal. Okay. Now we will discuss one more point, that is S.R. Bommai case. B-O-M-M-A-I-C-A-S-E. Bommai, S.R. Bommai case of 1994 in the Supreme Court. What the judgment was basically, it said that the judgment said that the Constitution of India is federal. The Constitution of India is federal. sorry, the word was characterized. The judgment said that Constitution of India is federal and characterized federalism as a basic feature. Characterized federalism as a basic feature. Now this question can come like which important Supreme Court judgment characterized federalism as a basic character of Indian Constitution, that is S.R. Bomai case of 1994. So this brings us to an end to this lecture. Tomorrow we will do another lecture. Thanks so much.